Hello all. In this AWS series, we are going to take a look at S3. So to go to S3, you're just typing S3 and selecting the item from AWS Management Console. While it is loading, S3 is a very popular service which can be compared to Box or Dropbox or Google Drive, which we use to store files. S3 is simple storage service used to store files and folders by Amazon AWS. When we talk about S3, the first thing which we need to discuss is the concept called bucket. Bucket is nothing but a collection of files and folders. So let's see how to create a bucket. Here, click on create bucket. Then it will ask for the bucket name, and there are quite a few configurations required here. We'll just go through one by one here. Important thing to understand is bucket name should be unique, and it should be unique globally. So it is very important to give a unique name for your bucket. I'm just giving .girish1, and each bucket can be created in different regions. So there are multiple regions available here. So I'll just go by, if you want to create a bucket in Mumbai region, you can do that, or you can just go by default. Then you can just go through different configuration options, set permissions, and finally review it and create the bucket, or else default configuration you can just create here itself. So what it does is it will create a bucket called the .girish1 in this Ohio region. So this is how a bucket is created. Now let's go into this bucket. Just click on this bucket. It will take you to this region. Here we can upload files, create folders, and there are different options here. So let's first create a file here. So just upload a file. Click on this upload and then add file. It's normal browser upload. I'm just selecting a simple PNG file, image file, and click on here. So what happens is load this file into this bucket what we have created. So it's straightforward. So it will create a file, PNG file what we have selected, and then create a file here. Now let's create a folder. I'm just creating a folder called images and save. So a folder is created. So like this, you have a file system here. You can create a file system, store the files. Now when it comes to when we uploaded, there were like multiple options uploading. So the important thing is this storage is having multiple and different types of classes. We call it a storage class. So let's see how and what are those storage classes. So this basically this particular storage class, this is called as standard storage class. So by we selected the default value, so it uploaded as a standard storage class. So now I'm going to upload again one more file. Select a second file. Now instead of uploading, I'm going to click on next. It will take you to the other option. So here you have different options of setting the permission. So we'll go through these permissions in a different session, but here you can while uploading itself you can give the permissions and then click next. So here the property. So as I mentioned earlier, by default the standard storage class is selected in different storage classes. Standard means normally all the files which we are storing, which is frequently accessed, would be standard storage class. if you want to say for example you uploaded 20 files, and then after a month you are not accessing these files very frequently, then these files can be changed into a different storage class. It can be standard IA, so that is nothing but long lived infrequently accessed data. It can be changed into a different storage class. So why do you need to convert these files into different storage classes? Mainly because this storage S3 cost you money. So depending on which region you are and what storage class you are, based on all these things, your billing will be kicked in. So obviously standard will be having a bigger billing period, and it is having a less latency. So if you say for example you want to store a file which is not been accessed for a year as a kind of archive, then you can move it to Glacier. The problem is that only problem here is that files will be having a much higher latency. Say for example you might be able to access these files in a 1 hour time, whereas standard storage classes files can be retrieved um, quickly, like real time. This is the difference. So sometimes if a regular access the files, if you try to store in Glacier class, that might not be practical. So main advantage is the cost advantage. So now I select standard and then click next. So it will just give you a review and then you can just upload. So this is how these are the different classes, and this is how we store the files. So these files are getting stored here. Now in S3, as we told, is standard storage class, and then maybe these files can be moved into different storage class like IA, as I mentioned, infrequently accessed files, or maybe after that we can just move into Glaciers. So this is called a file lifecycle. So let's look into how do we manage a file lifecycle here. So you manually can move these files into different storage classes depending on our requirement, and also this AWS gives you another option where you can automatically move these files to different storage classes depending on your rules. So let's see how we do this. For that, you are in S3.Girish1. This is the bucket we have created. Here you can click on management. In management, there will be something called a life cycle. Make sure that you're selected in life cycle and click on add life cycle rule. Now you can give a rule for this. So here I'm giving .Girish1 rule 1, and then you can apply this entire rule to all the items in this bucket, and then click on next. Like that you can add a tags and then there are so many options which we can just play around, like for the current version or previous versions. Depending on our requirement, we can say for example you want to apply a rule to the previous version of the file. Say for example you upload same file 2 times, so you want to apply the earlier version to be moved to a different storage class. So then you can select the previous version here. So here I'm selecting the current version and then click next, click add translations. Here from the standard, where do you need to move? So to standard AI or Glacier after how many days? So Glacier after 30 days or maybe like 45 days. And then you can add more translations like move, so that you can just once maybe after 5 years, if you want to delete the files, you can set this expiration as well. Even the whatever configuration we are doing, that can be expired after specific dates. Then you can just select and review, and then click save. So this applied on this entire bucket. So what happens here is that after specifically 45 days, this will be moved to standard IE, and then after 250 days, this will be moved to Glacier. So basically, we are saving the cost here, and it is applicable for all the files. So when you click on overview, you will be seeing all the files and folders which we have created in the bucket, and it is applicable for all the files. I cannot just show you here because this will get into effect only after 45 days, or minimum I have to wait for 30 days. So that is how storage standards works, and then lifecycle management happens for these files. Now, one problem with this lifecycle management is that, say for example, we put 45 days as for this file, so that after 45 days, these files will move to the different standard storage standard, right? So, but still, even after 45 days, these files are being used very frequently. Still, these files will be moved to another standard as per this configuration. So that is where a new concept called intelligent tiering comes into picture. So problem of automatically moving to a different storage class, even if file is being accessed quite frequently after specific time. So there is something called intelligent tier. So when you click on upload, add a file and try to upload, instead of standard, what we can do is click on next, and in the properties, instead of standard, you can just select intelligent tiering. So basically what it does is it will intelligently look into the access pattern as well as the time frame whatever we are giving. So it will add a little more intelligence to the rules what we have created to move these files between different storage classes. So that is what is intelligent tiering is used for. Again, it is for smartly saving the money. Now let's look. For example, say this funnel.png is the one file which we stored. If you don't switch on the versioning, if you are uploading the same file again, it will get overwritten and the earlier version will be lost. So how do we enable versioning? Let's look into that. So when you click on properties, there is something called versioning. Click there and just enable it, so that versioning will be enabled for this. Please be aware that for each versions or each features we are enabling here, it will charge additionally for the S3 usage. So now we enabled it. Come back to the overview. Let's look into the files, and all these properties we are enabling it for in their bucket here. So now versions is hidden, and when you click on show, there is no new versions available. Everything is uploaded only once, so it is showing as this. So now I'm hiding it again, and let's try to upload the same file one more time. Say for example funnel.png, let's upload it one more time. We have enabled the versioning and uploading the same file again. So the file is uploaded now. There is no difference here, but when you click show versioning, it will show different versions of same files available here. To look into this versioning a little more better, I'll create three versions of a text file. Let's see how it will behave. I'm creating a file with one line as test1 and saving it in the desktop. Now let me upload that file. This is the file in the desktop. I am uploading this file. Versioning has been enabled, and then I'm just uploading this. So file is available here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add another line, test2, saving this file, uploading it again. Now the file got uploaded again one more time. Last one more time. I'm just creating another third line here, saving it and uploading. Now this file got uploaded. Let's see the version. This file is having all the three versions available here. So now you want to see this file, you click, right click, and open. So it will show the default and the latest version, which is having three lines. So if you just select the other file, second version, and open, it will show you the second version, that is with the two lines. So so this is basically versioning, and there are a lot of use cases in DevOps and many other places. Versioning can be used much effectively. By default, it will be always showing the latest version of the file when you click and open it. Now let's look into replication. So this is a little more interesting and advanced topic. This can be implemented in DR strategies. So click on let's create. So to create show a demo for replication, I am going to create one more bucket. Let me call it as .girish2, and let me create it in a different region. This time I'll just create it in Mumbai and then create it. So let's make sure that this newly created bucket is really empty, and then yeah, there is nothing here. So let me just go back, and now let's see how do we do replication. Important thing here is when we do the replication, both the source and target bucket should have versioning enabled. So anyway, in our earlier bucket, versioning was enabled to show the demo. So I'm just going to the newly created bucket and enabling the versioning. So it is procedure where we click on properties and then go to the bucket, click on properties, and then enable versioning. Now it's enabled here. Now let me come back and go to the first. So basically what I am trying to do here is that dot replication is going to be enabled for .girish1, and it will be replicated to .girish2, which is in different two different regions, one from Ohio to Mumbai. So I'm just going to first target, and then in the management tab you can see replication option here. Click on that. Yeah. So here create a new rule. So here what I'm going to do is I'm going to replicate in their bucket, that is .girish one, and click on next. Here it is asking for the destination bucket. So there are different options. You can click on destination bucket. Here you can click you can choose the bucket which is there in your own account or in somebody else account, given that you have access to account. So here I select my own account, and then it will show all the buckets which is available in my account. So here I have only two. One is .girish one and another is .girish two. So I'm just selecting the second one here, which is shown. And there are different options. Say for example, while you are migrating or replicating, you can even change the storage class as we discussed earlier. So all those options are available here to save and optimize the cost. So now click on next. So you have to give a IAM rule here. So you can just give it as create a new and then select S3 dot girish one replication rule, and then click next. So it will show you that source is .girish one and destination is .girish two, and replication rule is this one, and then click on save. So replication is configured successfully. Now let's see what will happen here. So in .girish 2 we checked and there was nothing available in that location. Let's wait for some time and then do a refresh here. Maybe we'll just go to .girish one more time and then upload one more fresh file. By that time we'll see what is happening in .girish 2. I'm uploading funnel 5 and then click upload. So make sure that I'm uploading to .girish 1 itself. Now let's go back and see what's happening in .girish 2. We haven't uploaded anything manually to .girish 2 yet. Now I'm just refreshing and see in .girish 2 funnel 5 reached here. So the from the time when we enabled replication, the file started coming in here. So we just need to upload into one location and it will automatically get replicated here. And even the versioning, whatever we are doing, that version, including the version, it will be replicated here. So this is about replication. And one another thing is if you change the file and upload, that changes will be reflected here. But if you delete a file from the source, that will not be replicated in the destination, because by mistake if you delete a file, that should not be getting deleted it from the destination. So destination will not be impacted by a delete operation. Other than that, all the operations will be replicated to the second location. I'm just going to the first location, first bucket, and then deleting one file, same file. So yeah, select here and then in action, delete. Yeah, so maybe we'll just check the other location and make sure that that's not getting deleted here, and that is as per design. It is still there. So this is something which we need to keep in mind. Now let's see how to use this S3 as a web hosting. So we can use S3 for web hosting, but only catch here is we can only use it for static file hosting. Not any dynamic websites cannot be hosted in S3. Create few folders so that we'll have our simple website ready here. So let me just upload few folders and files and then continue with this. Okay, I created few folders and images and scripts and other things for this simple website, and then now I'm just adding one file called index.html, which is the home page for this test website. It's there in my desktop, and I'm just uploading it. So that file is getting uploaded. So images, script, styles, and then this index file. So these are the files which is used for my website. All the other files can be removed, but I'm just keeping it there. And then let's see what we need to do to make this S3 bucket for hosting my static files. So click on properties, static web hosting is there. Click on static web hosting, use this bucket for host my website option. Click on that, and then so this is the URL which is being provided to me as the endpoint. Let me make a note of that. And then here what it is saying is that what is your home page file called. So it is index.html, index.html. And if some error is happening, which file has to be, which HTML file has to be shown, I'm giving err.html. And then yeah, so there is no other options required, and then click on save. So now one more step is required. So now what happens is this bucket is being enabled for hosting. This ideally speaking, this file, this is the URL. I am going to open a new tab and then browse it and see what happens. It's showing forbidden 403. Yeah. So why it is so? We need to give permission. So let's go and see. Dot girish one is the folder which we made it as hosting. So here it says that it is not public. So click on left hand side. You will see block public access. Click on that and make sure that it is not blocking any public access. Click on edit and make sure that block all public access. If it is checked like this, make sure that it is unchecked and save changes. And type confirm and submit. Now come back to our S3. Now go to the bucket which we made it as hosting. Click on permissions. Now we don't have public permission for this folder. Make sure that block public access. Uncheck this, block all public access. Should be unchecked and then save it. This is the first thing. Second thing actually, confirm that is done. Now come to bucket policy. So there are two different types of policies, actually three different types of policies. One enabling that public access here, and then in bucket policy, you need to have a JSON entry like this. I'll explain what actually this does and put it here and then save it. So basically what it says is that it is giving public access to allow access to all the objects within this bucket for the bucket name. So in my case it is .girish1. So making these changes here and then click on save. So you see here it is marked as public now. So you just save it one more time and then basically this bucket which is .girish1 is made as public. Now let's go back to our URL and try. Wow. So this is how this is the index page what we have uploaded and the images and scripts which we use. Yeah. So by this, I know this video is almost more than 30 minutes. So I'm just winding up here and let's look at other sections of AWS in next videos. Thank you for watching. Bye.